Today we're on location at the Burnham McCall Training Center, where Polk County Sheriff's Office deputies receive their training. Today I'm joined by County Commissioner Rick Wilson and Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Good to be here. Glad to be here.
Sheriff Judd, I'd like to start with you. Could you tell us about the purpose of this building, where we're at today, the process of how it got built, and what it offers for your deputies?
Certainly, first and foremost, if you hire quality men and women to do a job and you don't give them adequate training and equipment, then they can't adequately do their job. So we recognize at the Sheriff's Office, and certainly our chairman and our Board of County Commissioners recognize, you have to have the equipment and the technology to do the job appropriately. We have 10 professional accreditations at the Sheriff's Office, but for decades we have been in old portable classrooms that the school board wore out, and then they gave them to us. And we tried to rehab them and put them back together. Well, the chairman here and other commissioners said, hey, we got to improve on that. You have the #1 rated sheriff's office in the state and the nation, and yet you've got this old junk that you're having to try to cobble together as a training facility. So we were very grateful. For the first time in the history of the Sheriff's Office, the Board of County Commissioners built us a state-of-the-art training facility which matches the professional standards that we live up to. So we're grateful for that, Commissioner.
Glad to do it.
Absolutely. And it's not just this building, is it? There's the K-9 building being built. There's the vehicle training course. Talk about those auxiliary facilities as well.
Certainly, in addition to that, we've got a K-9 training facility that's going to be built. And we wanted that separate from the main training center because there needs to be an appropriate place to house the K-9s in kennels while our K-9 folks are doing extensive training. And it takes extensive training for our K-9 program to be efficient and effective. You know, you think about a K-9 being the animal that runs in as the tip of the spear, and that's accurate. And sometimes they have to bite people, and that's accurate. But the key to it is we don't want them to bite until they absolutely have to. And the majority of the time, we don't use them to apprehend bad guys. We use them to find lost people, lost children, wanderers that have Alzheimer's and dementia, that sort of thing. Well, we have a first class, top-notch K-9 program. And once again, no training facility for that. So that's why that came on board. We have a driving pad. Heretofore, one of the most hazardous things that we're involved in is driving a vehicle. So in order to teach driving techniques, we had to go out to the airport back in the day, and they would let us use space at the airport. Well, the airports have grown up. They don't have that space anymore. And we didn't have a driving pad. Well, the Board of County Commissioners graciously built us that back in the day. So I tell folks, our police academy training is up by the Sheriff's Operations Center. The state of Florida built that facility. So if it makes noise, we train it here. If it doesn't make noise, we train it next to the Sheriff's Operations Center at Polk State College. And it works out really well.
You know, safety has always been our #1 priority, and it always will be. And you know, in this day and time, what we live in, things have got a little bit unsafer. The one thing that we want to do here in Polk County, and this board has done it, is to give the sheriff anything that he needs to help our deputy sheriffs become better and to give their best training that they can be given. So you need these type of facilities, state of the art, like the sheriff said. You need the best, and we're committed to do that. If anything else, this is #1, keeping everybody safe in this county, and it always will be in the way I think about it.
Commissioner Wilson, what does it mean to you to have a partner like Sheriff Judd in the county?
Oh, it's he's the man. Yeah, he has been here, and he is a Polk County boy. I always say boy, but he's a man. born and raised just like me here, and we love this county. And what he's done for this county over the years is unbelievable. And the people that he's had with him and taking care of the people in this county and making it a safe place to live. You know, Polk County has been the fastest growing county in the state. You know, we've all heard that, and one of the fastest growing counties in the nation. And I have to say, one of the reasons for Polk County is because of him, because people want to move here. We're a safe place to live. And, you know, they say you're number one. Well, you know, that brings a lot of problems along with it. So we have to have these type of facilities. He has to hire more people to take care of the more people. So we have to do whatever we have to do, as you know, the board does, to make sure he has the right tools and to be able to make these people the best deputy sheriffs that, you know, we can have.
Absolutely.
And that's a very important thing, because if you're not safe, nothing else counts. And that's one thing that I want to make sure that we got.
Sheriff, we talked a little bit about growth there and some of the other challenges that are, you know, coming about in today's world. Can you talk about some of the challenges that you and your deputies face?
Sure. First and foremost, I want to talk about what our chairman just said. Good things don't just happen. Good people make good things happen. Unfortunately, out in the community, some people think, well, this just happens on its own. Well, it doesn't. There's a lot of good people behind the scenes. And when we lay out a plan to keep Polk County safe, and we've done that with our 53-year low crime rate, it's the citizens that support the commissioners. It's the citizens that support us that make that happen. And our challenges every day are, how do we keep people safe? How do we use technology so that we can work smarter and not harder? And that's important. Technology is what's helped us keep crime down. There's cameras, and I talk about cameras every place. Every business has cameras. Most homes have cameras. People have cameras on their cell phones. And that is our primary technology. The community shares this. The business owners share it with us. And we're able to see what's happening through the community. So for those who want to commit crime, you can't commit crime anymore without being on a camera someplace. It's our job to find the camera, to find your picture committing crime. The other challenge that we have is you see this craziness that they put on the national news 24/7. It scares people and they go, oh my gosh, is it happening here? Well, the reality, it's not happening here. That craziness you see around the world doesn't happen here. We've had protests almost every week this year because people are wanting to protest. But the protesters have come to this community, this county, and they have protested peacefully. And we've helped them protest peacefully. And that's what we expect. We don't have the protesters that get in the street and throw rocks. You start that nonsense and we're going to lock you up in jail before quick. But if you want to protest, even against us, we'll help you protest peacefully. And that's what we see. So we're blessed in this county that people understand right is right and wrong is wrong, and wrong is never right, and up is still up, and down is still down, and left is still left, and right is still right. And that's the way we operate. But we couldn't do that without social media. I do between 13 and 20 million views a week where we talk about, here's the bad guy, look out for him. He'll break into your home if he's not locked up. Or I will get people's attention sometime with levity to sell a safety point. But I also listen back from the community through our social media. So when you look around the world and you see all these fits and spells that are going on, that's not happening here. But it's not happening here because of the leadership. the leadership of the Board of County Commissioners, the leadership of our chairman, the leadership of the state attorney, me, the public defender, the city commissioners, the mayors. We love everybody. We want everybody to be heard. We want everybody engaged. But that craziness we watch on television is not welcome here by those in government or our community. And as a result, I would tell you that if you ask me from the 30,000-foot view, the biggest problem is abuse of drugs and mental health. And that's kind of like the chicken and the egg, which came first. And suicide. And despite our best efforts to the contrary, despite crime being down, we still see the abuse of drugs go up. We still see mental health issues go up. And we still see suicides go up. So that's why when I come out against legalizing more mind-altering substances, against that, it's because I haven't seen any of these mind-altering substances make our community better or safer or more sane.
Absolutely.
You know, he hit on some great points there. And, you know, you look around this country and you see, just like he said, a lot of stuff going on. And you don't see it here in Polk County. And you can have these type facilities. You can have great, you know, a great sheriff and a great all his people. But you got to have good people that, like our board, that sees the same way that I want to see and the way the sheriff sees. Common sense. You know, I make the point a lot in the past. You know, people were defunding the police. Well, guess what? We didn't. We give more money. And, you know, and some people that come from these other states that come down here, they say, well, why do you do that? Well, because it's safe, makes it safer. Because a lot of people in this country are not for that. Here in Polk County, we want to have a safe atmosphere. We got one of the greatest places in the country to live. People come here to live from other states. We have beaches on everywhere around us. We have everything going on, attractions. So it brings a lot of different people here. But I can tell you this, we're going to do everything we can to have a good community and a safe community. And I hate to say this, but at the end of the day, that stuff always costs money. And we do everything that we can to make that happen, to make this county a better county. And I'm going to continue as long as I'm here.
You know, Commissioner, it's interesting that you make that point. I have been to tens of thousands of emergencies in my career. I have never once, not once, heard anybody complaining about the cost of a fire truck, an ambulance, or a sheriff's car at an emergency. Never. Because we're the kind of, I tell everyone, we're the insurance policy you don't want to cash. But if you need a sheriff's deputy or an ambulance or a fire truck, you want them there fast, you want them there trained, and you want them to save your life. And that's what we do every day. So when we pay these local ad valorem taxes, we want to assure the community that we're using the money wisely, and we're saving as much money as we possibly can to do a professional job. But what's your life worth? What's your child's life worth? And if we don't have the right training and the right people and the right equipment, we can't save your life or protect you. This Board of County Commissioners, and it's led by this chairman, by Rick Wilson, says, hey, look, nothing's more important than our children. So if we provide an environment where we're safe and we feel safe, where we can get help when we're injured or very sick, if we'll take care of that, the community will thrive. Private enterprise is remarkable, and they make good things happen. But we've got to provide the infrastructure that government's supposed to provide, and then stay out of the way of the private enterprise, and they'll take care of everything else.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Yes, sir. Well, Sheriff, Commissioner, we've hit on so many important topics today. I want to thank both of you for your time. Sheriff, last question. If you could just in 60 seconds wrap up your message to the residents of this county.
Yeah, I love the people of Polk County. It is an honor to serve them. But I want them to understand, they see the sheriff's car, they see the ambulance, they see the fire truck, But none of these professional trained men and women could do their job and have the high level of training without this commissioner and his colleagues. And they care and support us. And then we go out and take care of the mission for the Board of County Commissioners, and it's our honor.
Well, thank you both so much for joining me today.
Take care.
And I'd like to thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.